Hello everyone. This video is on revision class part 1 for BSc 6th semester zoology students. In this video, we will discuss about the most repeated questions of the paper reproductive biology and developmental biology. The link of old question papers and syllabus will be given in the description box. Here I discuss with important concepts of unit 1. So under the topic reproductive system, the most expected questions are male and female reproductive system, accessory sex organs, secondary sexual characters of human males and females. Now we'll revise these topics one by one. So, as we all know, reproduction is the production of young ones by an organism similar to themselves. In case of human beings, we all would have seen that basically the mother gives birth to the baby, and this is how the process continues. And it is not only something which is exclusive to the human beings, it happens in all other animals too. But here we are going to focus on how human reproduction occurs. So the humans are sexually reproducing animals, means sexual reproduction is the only mode of reproduction in human beings, and they are viviparous, means which gives birth to young ones are called as viviparous. The animals which lay eggs are called as oviparous. Later they hatch into new individuals, but in case of humans we are viviparous. Let's start with male reproductive system first, later we'll discuss with female reproductive system. Let us now talk about human male reproductive system. First, we'll try to understand the structure of male reproductive system. Okay, so this is the diagrammatic view of human male reproductive system. So what are the important parts that together form the reproductive system? They are paired testes, accessory ducts, accessory glands, and external genitalia. The accessory ducts are further divided into rete-testes, vasa efferentia, epididymis, vas deferens. And the accessory glands are of three types: prostate gland, seminal vesicles, Copper's gland, or it is also referred as bulbourethral glands. Now we'll study about testes. Okay. So the testes, they occur in pairs. They produce sperms, that is why they are known as primary sex organ in case of human males. They also produce a male hormone called testosterone. And what is the function of this hormone? So this is a hormone which is responsible for all secondary sexual characters in a male. So secondary sexual characters are nothing but, for example, change in voice, presence of beard and mustache, presence of hair in the genital area or under the armpit. So these kinds of characters are influenced by this hormone, that is by testosterone. And this hormone is produced by testes. So the testis is most important organ of male reproductive system. And this testis is protected by sac-like structure called as scrotum. So scrotum is the one which holds the testes. And this testis is present outside the abdominal cavity because the sperm production takes place at a temperature little lower than the body temperature, that is about 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lesser than the body temperature. So that is why the testis is located outside the abdominal cavity, and it is very important for the production of sperms, nothing but for spermatogenesis. It is very important. Now we'll see the internal structure of testes. So here is a diagrammatic section of seminiferous tubule. We'll study what are seminiferous tubule. So each testis is oval in shape, and each testis has approximately about 250 segments. Those segments are called as lobules. Since these lobules are present inside the testis, it is called as testicular lobules. So inside each lobule, there is presence of highly coiled 1 to 3 tubular structure which is called as seminiferous tubule. So sperms are actually produced inside the seminiferous tubule. Clear? So we'll see the diagrammatic view of seminiferous tubule here. Sorry. Okay. So the lining of seminiferous tubule, which is made up of two types of cells. One is male germ cell and another cell is Sertoli cells. Can you see in this picture? So male germ cell is also referred as spermatogonium. So this spermatogonium which undergo meiosis to form sperms. So meiosis, it is reductional division where the chromosome number reduces to half. Here you can see spermatogonium later undergoes primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatids, and at last it produces spermatozoa. So spermatozoa is nothing but sperms. So male germ cell will be diploid in nature. It undergoes meiosis and it produces haploid sperms. And another cell here is Sertoli cells, which also forms in the inner lining of the seminiferous tubules, which provides nourishment to the male germ cell. Okay. So next is the region, you can see in this picture, the region which is outside the seminiferous tubule, which is called as interstitial space. So interstitial space consists of a specialized cell called as interstitial cells, or it is also called as Leydig cells. This is very important. They may ask for 2 marks. The function of Leydig cell is which secrete a testicular hormone called as androgen. So the function of androgen is which controls the male accessory ducts and glands. Clear? So next, let us discuss with male accessory ducts. Before that, we'll discuss what is accessory sex organs. So accessory sex organs are those organs which does not directly produce a sperm. So as we know, sperm production takes place inside the testes, right? So in accessory sex organ, what they do is which carries the produced sperm to the external genitalia. Hence it is called as secondary sex organ, or it is known as accessory sex organ. Clear? So there are different types of accessory ducts. They are rete-testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens. Here in the picture, you can see those, structure. So let us start with rete-testis. So rete-testis is a network of tubules which carry sperms from the seminiferous tubule to the vasa efferentia. Clear? So this vasa efferentia connects rete-testis to the epididymis. So epididymis, it is a complex tube-like structure in the scrotum which temporarily stores the sperms and which also helps in passage of sperms. Next is vas deferens. So vas deferens is tube-like structure emerging from the lower part of the epididymis. So later this vas deferens which joins with one of the accessory glands present over there to form common ejaculatory duct. Now I repeat with the accessory ducts once again. See, inside the testis there is presence of testicular lobule. Inside the testicular lobules there is presence of seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubule produces sperms. From the tubule it then passes into rete-testis. From the rete-testis it passes into vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia, it is connected to the vas deferens through epididymis. Later it joins with common ejaculatory duct and which joins to the urethra. So next is about accessory glands. There are 3 important accessory glands. They are prostate gland, seminal vesicle, and Copper's gland. Here in this picture, you can see these three glands. The corpus gland is also called as bulbourethral gland. So these three glands which secretes milky fluid that helps in sperm mobility. Sperm mobility is nothing but movement, motility. So their collective secretion is called as seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium, and enzyme. So this seminal plasma along with sperm is referred as semen. So here is a list of functions. So this is all about male reproductive system. In a similar way, we look at the structure of female reproductive system. So the female reproductive system is more complex because it is not only involved in the production of gametes, but also here the fertilization, implantation, development of fetus, nourishment of young ones, etc., which takes place in the female reproductive system. That is why it is more complex than the male reproductive system. So the important parts of female reproductive systems are paired ovaries, accessory ducts, and external genitalia. The accessory ducts involves oviduct, or it is also called as fallopian tube, uterus, and vagina. And the external genitalia consist of mons pubis, vestibule, hymen, and clitoris. Next, we look at the primary sex organ first, that is ovary. The ovary produces female gamete, that is ovum or egg. Both remain same. So hence it is called as primary sex organ. So in case of sexual reproduction, what happens is male gamete, that is sperm, and female gamete, that is ova, they fuses together to form zygote. Clear? So the ovary also produces a hormone called as estrogen and progesterone. So the function of estrogen is it is responsible for secondary sexual character in females, that is enlargement of mammary gland, growth of hair in the armpit, menstrual cycle, etc. The function of progesterone is it is very important hormone during pregnancy. So this ovary, it is located one on each side of uterus or abdomen region. So the ovary is connected to the pelvic wall or to the uterus by ligament. So here is the internal structure of ovary. So each ovary, it is covered by a thin epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma. The ovarian stroma has two regions, outer cortex and inner medulla. The ovary contains group of cells called as ovarian follicles or Graafian follicle. So Graafian follicle is a mature follicle. Before that, there will be immature follicle called as primary follicle, secondary follicle, and tertiary follicle. Then it matures to form Graafian follicle. And in each follicle which carries ovum. So this is the overall structure of ovary. Let us talk about next part, that is accessory ducts. So accessory ducts includes three regions, that is oviduct or fallopian tubes, uterus or womb, and one more is vagina. So next is we'll discuss regarding oviduct, that is fallopian tube. So the fallopian tube is of 10 to 12 centimeter long. They exist in pair. And the fallopian tube originates from the periphery of ovary and extends up to uterus. Its main purpose is to receive the ovum from the ovary. So this is divided into three regions. One is infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus. So infundibulum, it is a part which is close to ovary and it is funnel shaped. So there is finger-like projection which is called as fimbriae, which helps to collect the ovum from the ovary during ovulation. Clear? So ovulation is nothing but release of ovum from the ovary. Second part is ampulla. It is the middle part of fallopian tube. It is somewhat wider part. And the last part is isthmus. So it is narrow part. It joins to the uterus. Clear? So next accessory duct is uterus. It is also called as womb. So uterus is somewhat inverted pear-shaped structure and it is muscular and hollow. So that is why it can actually have contraction and expansion. So here what happens is inside the uterus fetus development takes place. Now egg which was released from the ovary, later it is fertilized, and fertilized egg develops into a baby inside the uterus. So this uterus holds the baby for 9 months. So uterus has three parts: upper fundus, middle body, and terminal cervix. So cervix of course later opens into vagina. The uterine wall, which has three layers, namely perimetrium, myometrium, and endometrium. So perimetrium, it is the external thin membrane. Myometrium, it is middle layer which is made up of smooth muscles, whereas endometrium, it is the inner layer and it is made up of glandular cells. So endometrium which undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle, whereas myometrium which exhibit strong contraction during the delivery of the baby. Clear? So last accessory duct is vagina. So vagina is tube-like structure where actually sperm discharge occurs here. So it also acts as birth canal. Here in the female reproductive system there is a gland called as Bartholin's gland. The secretion of this gland which lubricates external genitalia during sexual intercourse. So this is about female reproductive system.